This can't be done.
Yes, it can. Just have to go deep enough.
Cree Summers, I know they watched Good Times. Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Very disappointing.
what a shame. Shame.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame.
Yeah, we need to just stone. Dang, if we wouldn't mess up our own wall, we could just like stone this depiction.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt anybody but us. We've been hurt enough just watching this.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. All right.
Hey, welcome back to our channel. It's a meta watch party. Today we are tipping into a channel that's kind of new to us called Double Toasted. What drew us to this particular video was the title, A Good Times Netflix trailer.
Uh-oh.
Why you say that?
Because Good Times is already kind of controversial.
Was it controversial in its
Yes.
time or like now?
I don't know. I mean, Good Times is a little before our time.
Yeah, it's like 70s TV.
But I mean, it's definitely interesting, right? Because I mean, Good Times is one of those first so-called black sitcoms. And it actually, I mean, there's some controversy around it because it was written by a man who claimed that he got no credit for it. And because all of the credit went to, what's the guy's name who's credited with being the creator of Saturday Night Live?
Lorne Michaels?
Lorne Michaels? Yeah, I think so. I think
Really?
apparently like he stole this one guy. He's the writer of Good Times. He also wrote Sanford and Son. Yeah, created all of these shows, but he didn't get any credit for them until like very recently. And somehow Lorne Michael got all the credit for creating these shows when it's like, how could Lorne Michael have possibly created Good Times and Sanford and Son?
And SNL. Those things just seem real different to me.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's not of the culture. He's a Jewish man. He's not like, doesn't know about the struggle of, at the time, like modern Black American families. How could he possibly have created those shows?
But people from that community have taken credit for coining the term ghetto, saying that they came from the ghettos.
Yeah, I mean, just because they lived in the original kind of ghetto-like community doesn't mean they know anything about Black American culture, so-called Black American culture, because really it's American Indian culture, right? They don't know anything about that. So how could they be the creator and writer of a show like Good Times, which was completely centered around the
like a public housing,
or just the experiences of that culture and those people. So just like Sanford and Son. I think there was another one too that he wrote. I'm not really exactly sure which one it was. I have to look it up. 227. I don't know. It was another show of that time. Oh, The Jeffersons.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's Sanford and Son, Good Times, and The Jeffersons. It was all created by this same man who was, of course, of the culture, and then of course got no credit for it, and of course got no money for it. And so, like, I wonder if this Netflix cartoon, is gonna follow in the legacy of Good Times, which was really introducing the like general American population to, the life experiences of, American Indian people, or is it just gonna be the next episode of the Pandaverse? Right? Where they like pander to, that same community, but do it in a way that, really, shines a negative light on it, and also just panders without actually, uplifting or being like genuine.
Yeah.
Is it just like a dunk on so-called racists, like for an entire series, or is it going to be something that's actually worth tuning into?
Mm. I also wonder, is it retro? Because when I think of Good Times, it like transports me to an era in time, right? Like a very particular point in time, or is it like somehow modernized?
I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine it's going to be like take place in the 70s or anything close to it. It's probably going to be modern.
Hmm.
So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder why use that name? Like what's the significance? Is it the children of them? Like, is it their offspring? Okay, we gotta see. We did a lot of speculation.
Yeah, well, it's a meta watch party. It's you watching us watch Double Toasted, watch this trailer for the first time.
Yeah, we're going at least 4 levels meta. Let's meta watch.
What about the struggle? We're black. It'll be here tomorrow. Down.
Okay. Doesn't look good so far.
I usually don't like to judge until the final product is seen. But you for this.
Damn.
Oh, this is pretty meta.
Cannot in good conscience talk about Double Toasted live in LA without showing that image right there. Double Toasted live in LA. That's from the Art of Moss.
Look at all the
He
toast.
did that art right there. Some of y'all be getting that on a t-shirt, but I'll let you know about that in a little bit. But that show will be April 27th. So everybody fondly remembers this intro and this theme song right here.
Oh, here we go. Anytime you need a payment.
Not getting hustled. Now here it is. Everybody remember the words here? Oh, yeah. Keeping your head on the water. Make it away when you can.
How are these good times?
Wait a minute, hold on. Easy credit ripples.
Good times.
Right to surviving.
Good times.
Good
times. And we lucky we got 'em. Good times.
Oh, that's not the one they were dancing.
That one and the girl dancing.
Yeah. Everybody remembers that.
And there's two alternate lines of that. The Hangman Challenge is also in the welfare line. That's when they first wrote it.
But people, that is the theme.
How are any of those good times?
Those are all bad times. For real.
Does the word good mean bad? Like
temporary layoffs?
Okay.
What's an easy credit ripoff?
Easy credit. I think easy credit is that it's like those furniture stores where you can like do payment plans.
Like a layaway?
Yeah, but you actually get the furniture and then you just are paying on it. Like
okay.
I guess like
Rent-A-Center?
Yes, that's the place I was trying to think of. But I think they term those places like easy credit lending.
So what's the ripoff? They just never pay them?
Well, you just end up paying so much.
Oh, right. It is
interest,
a ripoff, right?
Yeah.
You might as well just buy the couch.
If only you could.
I'm like, is that like a 70s version of scamming? Like,
yes. To this day. Good times?
No.
Question mark. They should have sang every line with a question mark. Good times.
You're hanging in a chow line?
Good times?
Maybe. Because, I mean, you're just hanging and chatting with your peoples.
About to eat something.
Waiting for some chow.
That's free.
Yikes.
Good times? Scratching and surviving?
Pass.
Good times? Well, we're lucky we got them. Maybe Lorne Michaels did
I was
create
about to
this
say,
show.
maybe he wrote the song at least.
He was like, let's put a spin on it.
He ain't writing none of this, goddamn.
To Good Times, classic show from the 70s about a black family in Chicago living in the projects, constantly trying to get out because they all had so much potential.
To no avail.
Never. But you know what? Everybody loves this show, man.
I didn't like it.
Spin off a mom.
Yeah,
That's right.
so someone finally said, "Hey, Good Times, come here. It's your turn." Get in the remake line.
But I was just about to.
No, you about to be remade, rebooted,
I'm
you
living in Florida,
reimagined, all that. No, get your ass over here. It's your turn.
I ain't got my shoes.
No, that's too bad. Grab a coat. Come on, barefooted. Nah, so people, I'm gonna tell you though. I because some people talking about don't remake this. Out of all things out there, please, not Good Times. Some things are sacred. Don't worry, y'all. I actually feel pretty good about this because, listen, if you're going to remake or recreate, reimagine, reboot, whatever, a classic black sitcom, then it should be led and done by one of the leading voices in the black community, Seth McFarlane.
Oh,
yes.
Come on.
Seriously?
Come on, man.
See?
Come on, man. He's done so much for us, Martin.
You found the widest
Is he a
picture of
female
that
guy?
show.
See what I'm
Hey,
saying?
Nick.
I don't think there's
Which
other
character?
No, I'm just saying. That's my point.
Yeah,
He's
but-
the widest guy ever.
But man,
Family Guy's
Yeah,
hilarious,
people.
but
Seth MacFarlane
Oh,
said,
that's how I know the name.
you know what you blacks need? You need for me to lead you in a remake. Or,
Maybe we
or
might be going into
a
Pandaverse.
sequel
That was
to
good.
Good Times. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why am I the man to do this? Because it's not going to be
Family Guy, not
it's not
South
just
Park.
going to be
Oh.
a reboot
Okay,
or a
disregard what I
sequel
said.
of Good Times, but it's going to be in a format that I, Seth MacFarlane, knows. It will be in glorious animation. And it's going to be on Netflix. So you know it's going to be good because Netflix has money. You're in very good white ass hands over here. Don't you worry about it. I mean, black people, I got you. After all, I'm the one that is responsible for the Cleveland show.
Yes.
I
With
mean,
the white actor playing.
yeah,
Really?
white actor doing the voice.
I didn't know
Cleveland
that.
show.
Do I know black culture or what, y'all? Do I know you people?
My name is
Listen, I know he knows 70 sitcoms, but this is one where it's like, brother, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
There's a
Martin.
lot of other shows. What about All the Family? That'd be perfect
Martin,
for you.
you were really being unfair right
You
here.
think so?
Yeah, because you haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah, that's true.
And you said that early.
That's right.
We talked about this. Keep an open mind, man.
You're
You shouldn't
right,
be coming
you're
in
right.
judging like this.
All
man.
right,
You're
let's
not
keep an
those kind
open
of people.
mind.
You're right.
Okay? You're not
No,
judgmental.
thank you for reminding me.
I am.
It's just, if we would just be prejudiced
Mhm.
if we came here and prejudged
That's
what
right.
Mr. MacFarlane has for us. So let's go ahead and take a look at this wonderful new
All
reimagining
right.
Here
of
we go.
Good Times. The animated series on Netflix.
I have important news.
You can get paid for that?
This is from a fool who stares at his orange juice every morning.
It says concentrate on the box. Who the dummy now?
The lips.
What about the struggle? We're black. It'll be here tomorrow.
Said everything black.
I usually
Uh,
I usually don't like to judge until the final product is seen. But you for this.
I will say two things, and one is positive. The positive thing is that this in no way makes me think of Good Times. I don't even know why it's titled that. It could have a
That's what
completely
I'm
different
It's
saying.
everything but Good Times.
Yeah, it doesn't. It seems to only name check it ever so often, but there's not a shred of this that reminds me of Good Times. So it's super easy to keep these things separate in my head.
that's what I was saying. It's like I immediately when I'm trying to or when I'm like taking in the info that there is a piece of media named Good Times, I immediately think the 70s, because like that's what the show is. It's set in the 70s and it's about this family. So if it's gonna be modern, I would assume that these are their children, grandchildren that maybe are still in this apartment. Maybe they inherited the apartment and now it's like maybe they're turning the building into a co-op. Maybe, you know, like maybe they have a rent control situation
What a
where they get to
tragedy if their grandchildren are still in that same bum project apartment.
yeah.
Yikes. But I don't know. It's just a grift. It's just, you know, using the name to dunk on so-called black people. Like, this is why we
using John Legend.
Why,
everything black. Oh, I didn't know who was singing it, but that's who it sounded like.
This is why people that consider themselves black need to disassociate from that terminology. Because no.
Because no.
Because no, yeah, it's like, no.
It's not nothing
They
nice.
already, like everything associated with that word is bad. And also, it's just an inaccurate depiction of the people of that nation.
Yep.
Let's see what other nonsense is in store for us.
Okay. I wonder what was his second point. Okay, yeah, let's get back to that.
And the other is that
here we go.
Oh, what figure I got? Seth McFarlane, while he's the producer, he's not the showrunner. It seems to be a black woman. So
yeah,
I think it's
her.
But they just falls on her.
Yeah, but they're using his name to sell this.
Oh yeah,
you know, and so listen, man. If this is good, I will take it back. I really will. But this trailer gets a major from me.
Was that the whole trailer?
Listen,
that was the intro.
If this right here ain't an argument for why diversity is necessary, then I don't know what is.
First of all, I just want to say, you've shown me that.
No, I gotta see it. You gotta see it too.
But number two, being a good times thing, it's offensive.
It's offensive on its own.
Yeah, you could call this anything.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, I'm seriously still like, wait, is this a joke? Like, I
was waiting for that too, but it's too late for that.
I mean, this is a good argument for bringing back the Boondocks just so they can talk about it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna say this, man. No one needed this remake / sequel or whatever the hell it is. But if you're gonna do it, you're gonna call it that. If you're gonna put the name on here, Good Times,
and the font,
then understand what it is. Understand what the original show is. You know, because what I'm looking at this right here, this is the anti-Good Times. So what happened? Could you not get the rights for the Soul Plane cartoon? Because this is exactly what we're talking about. This is nothing but stereotype. The show.
Yeah. And they cram in as many as they can every second.
They really do. I couldn't believe it. It's some old jokes too.
Old jokes. Yeah. And everything is a stretch.
So tired.
Drug dealer baby. Haven't seen that before.
And listen.
Did they watch the whole thing?
If you're gonna do these stereotypes, you couldn't even dignify them with good animation.
I mean, that's what I was gonna say.
They just popping everywhere.
Yeah, the animation's awful.
Big question for Netflix. Netflix with all the money. You got better animation than y'all. My sister used to tell all kinds of nasty jokes. Say, I got a call in the middle of the night. How we got a better budget than Netflix? Why are we doing better work than Netflix? Unless Netflix is like, we ain't giving you money.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Them characters are on. You know, if y'all know anything about animation, there's frame rate. The normal frame rate is 1 or 2. These characters are on 5s and 6s. Popping everywhere. I'm like, damn.
What does that mean?
You couldn't even give us proper animation.
What does that mean between 1 and 2 or 5?
I mean, I'm not sure technically what he's saying, but he's just saying that it's not smooth. Like they don't have enough transition frames to make it look smooth.
Oh, okay. So it's like maybe 1 frame per second or 1 to 2 frames per second versus like
that.
So they basically, he's saying they don't have enough images. Like if you had a flip book.
Yeah, there's just not enough images to make it look smooth, like when they move.
Interesting. Wait, do you think, should we try to find the trailer and then
I don't know. I'm hoping they
circle
actually
back?
play it, because he said he didn't want to judge it without seeing it. So maybe they didn't. Maybe they just judging it before they see the rest of it.
Okay. He said we don't want to, but damn.
As if you couldn't get more insulting. And now here come the assholes. Now here's where I got to explain something to y'all, because I was saying this earlier, I watch Good Times almost every night on a rerun channel. And a lot of people are saying, well, you're talking about stereotypes in this show. Well, Good Times was full of nothing but stereotypes. That is not true. That is not true.
Well, also, at the end of the day, that show, while, we say it was stereotypical of the ghetto, we had a family that was always fighting to do the moral thing. That was the basis of the show.
That was the basis of the show. John, let me just throw this out there for anybody who wants to say that, because that's why John Amos left. John Amos left because he and Esther Roll were supposed to be the stars of the show. They were losing focus on those two characters. It was focusing on JJ more, on Jim Walker's character and his antics. Not the stereotypes, his antics, his comedic antics. And he was like, this is too much. It's getting away from what the show's supposed to be about.
The thing that these quote unquote stereotypes wasn't or weren't is trifling. Yeah. And it looks like everybody in this animated show is trifling.
Exactly. The thing that I probably didn't like about this is that every time they were about to get out the projects, they always had a setback. That was just that was almost the gimmick of the show. Yeah,
it's like Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, exactly. The project.
Well, if they're not a project anymore, you don't have a show.
I think that's what I didn't like about the show. I think part of what is enjoyable about sitcoms or just like entertainment in general is things that are aspirational, right? So like watching a family be stuck in the projects is the opposite of aspirational. And somebody who grew up in a neighborhood that was like definitely like working class, like people work paycheck to paycheck. Like I don't want to turn on TV and like that's not enjoyable to me to like consume more of that. Like I want to see people doing well, living in beautiful homes. Like so I can't really speak on whether the show itself was like good or bad. I just did not personally enjoy that type of content.
Yeah, it's like, why would you want to watch people doing their best to get out of a situation just to like constantly be met with setbacks that land them in the very same situation they're trying to get out of? Like that's tragedy.
It is. And I think that's indicative of a lot of so-called Black entertainment or like shows that revolve around, our community. Is like there's almost never a happy ending. And so I just never gravitated towards stuff like that. Like I need to see a beautiful resolution.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the Cosby Show was so good.
Yeah.
Because they were affluent and it was just really about, different experiences that the family was having that weren't at all attached to struggle life.
Right. Yeah, it was like highlighting different types of challenges that families have.
And it was more like normal challenges that families have, not just like ones that are good times, struggling and trying to scratch and survive. Like, it's just more about, parents and their children and watching them grow up. And like it's definitely a totally different vibe.
Learning challenges, or like I'm trying to think of some of the plot lines.
Yeah, like trying to
start science fair.
Yeah, trying to start businesses. Or like, the challenge of trying to stick to a diet, or right,
right.
having a bad dream, and it's like it's totally different kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. Right, like navigating your children going out on their first dates and having issues with friends, and yeah, definitely more of the nuance of day-to-day life in culture that's not so racially focused.
Yeah.
I think that was another really refreshing component of the Cosby Show, was that while there were components of like the culture, it was more subtle and nuanced, you know, like not like, oh, this is how Black people live, this is how white people, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, these are just everyday people that you can maybe relate to in some form or fashion, even while not sharing their economic affluence. There's still things about them that are relatable. It was really nice. Yeah. Unlike Good Times? Question mark.
Right. Are they gonna show us the trailer? Let's see.
Characters mostly carry themselves with dignity, man. You know, this what we have here is just saying, Martin. You know, this is just, these characters were in the projects, but they were not project stereotypes. They were always trying to do better. They had high aspirations. You know, they tried to be positive and hopeful. This ain't nothing but hood stereotypes right here.
Yeah.
That's all we're looking at. Yep. And it's not even the same kind of humor. I mean, this is not Good Times. It's not.
It's very cynical to say, like, well, once all those characters got older or passed on, this is what the family fell into.
Right. Yeah.
Drugs and selling drugs and acting stupid and acting a damn fool and buffoons and all that.
And I'm gonna tell you, man,
everybody
John
from the
Amos,
70s
when he
is
left the
dead.
show, he didn't like to focus on JJ. He didn't, you know, he felt like he did feel like it was being put on his antics and taken away from Michael and Thelma, who seemed to be the more serious characters. He said, well, that's just not a reflection of my family. It's not a reflection of my family. Things would be different. And everybody's all right. I understand, but your family's not a TV sitcom. You know, it's reality. I understand, you know, where he's coming from. I'm critical of how blacks are used for humor in certain things. And here's this quote right here that, you know, there's too much emphasis being put on JJ and his chicken hat saying dynamite.
That was annoying to me too.
When just as much emphasis and mileage could have been gotten out of my other two children in the cockamamie jokes and humor that could have come out of that. And in a way, he's right, because, you know, humor and buffoonery is, you know, the toll of that is harder when it's portrayed by black people than it is for other people out there. The stereotypes hit harder.
I get a lazy thing out of that from him. He's saying, I get more of a, we went for the easy, lazy joke instead of the good ones.
Yeah.
Positive. I mean, that's why I get a lot of that there too.
Well,
I see what you're saying.
Well, I think it's just a lazy product of some of the sitcom, you know.
Yeah, if somebody has a catchphrase that catches on with them.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they're gonna lean on it.
Unfortunately,
same thing happened with Family Matters.
It gets to a point in a lot of sitcoms where a character, their catchphrase becomes popular and they become the focus of the show.
I mean, like how they started, like the show didn't start out being like with Urkel being that important of a character. And then they found out through the ratings that everybody loved the character Steve Urkel, and then the show Family Matters basically became the Urkel show.
Yeah, and like his dynamic with Carl Winslow, and I don't know, there were just so many characters that I thought were really enjoyable characters. Like as a family, it was like an interesting family, and then it just turned into like Steve busting in and like being clumsy and like breaking stuff, and it was just like kind of exhausting after a while. Like, did I do that?
Yeah, I mean, but even still, as a show, as a complete show, it didn't really rest on stereotypes at all.
No,
or
not
like
at all.
racial stuff. So ultimately, though, I did enjoy Family Matters. And I think Steve was a really interesting character.
That's true, I guess.
Like him.
He had a lot of range.
And the idea of him being like a super genius is really something that we never really got before.
Right.
Like even with Cosby Show, you know, like they were more just normal, everyday people. They just happened to, you know, come from a family of two parents who both had really affluent jobs, or careers rather.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like Carl Winslow was a police officer, so he's like blue collar working man, and I don't remember what Harriet's job was, but like Steve being a super genius was really
Yeah.
interesting.
That's true.
And then like his range was really pretty wide as well. Like him going from like Steve Urkel, goofball, like nerd genius, to like Stefan Urquelle
Now
and being like
that is a monumental moment in TV history.
suave ladies man. Just like that's, I don't know if we've seen such a like a 180 of a like character change in any other show before.
You know what's funny too is that you know how people can remember where they were when they heard a certain song or when something happened, like a big major world event. I remember the night of TGIF when Stefan Urquelle stepped out of that that transformation machine. I screamed. I remember Babyface was playing for the Cool in You. Oh my God, that's why it's one of my favorite songs to this day. Like we waited years to see that. Like to have him have on pants that came all the way down to his ankles and like just clothes that were nicely fitted and
no suspenders.
He dropped his nose down. It wasn't scrunched up. He took them glasses off. Woo! Oh my God. I was like, Lorne Winslow is the luckiest gal in the world tonight. I was sad for her when he went back to being Steve. She was like, do you have to go? Oh man. And then actually, you know what too? Like I think that's when the show, it did get a little resurgence. I think an interest from people like myself who had watched it, you know, from the beginning. After a while, it kind of became a little redundant. And then I think they brought in that Stefan Urquelle. And probably I heard that actor, he was pretty instrumental in being like, hey, listen, can I do something a little different? Like he didn't want to be stuck in that type of role forever.
Jaleel White?
Yeah. And so after he became Stefan Urquelle, do you remember how he found a way? Because Laura was like begging him to stay Stefan, but he needed to have like a special potion. And he would like take the potion and he would have to go back and forth because Stefan Urquelle wasn't like as smart as Steve or something like that. So he was like trying to live in both worlds and she would be like, please get in the machine, Steve.
Yo, that's messed up. You can't even like see the Stefan and Steve.
It was hard to see.
That's so funny.
But I do like, I think that character introduction in itself, it did something to the show. It like brought a renewed interest in the show, I think, from people who had kind of drifted off and felt like they were too mature for it. And they were like, oh, wait a minute. There's something else going on now.
Right? All the young women that were watching it and that didn't think what's his son's name?
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie Winslow was a romantic enough love interest.
He was. Well, that's the thing. That's why I feel like the show, they put so much focus on Steve's character that it didn't really allow for us to get into the other characters. So it's like if you didn't really love the Steve Urkel character, it could get like old and redundant after a while. Because I don't think people thought that Eddie Winslow was like, you know, chopped liver or anything. He just didn't get any airtime, and they kind of like, they reduced his character to being like a real supporting, and they also made him not super smart. And then his friend was like really dumb. Waldo Faldo.
That was one of my favorite characters. That name is legendary.
It is.
He was mad dumb. But didn't Steve also play like a girl Steve?
Oh yeah, his cousin.
What was her name? Myrtle Urkel.
Yes.
Yo, Steve was all over. He was like Martin.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing all the characters. He had a Shanae. Yeah, Myrtle Urkel.
Mm-hmm.
That was Steve was doing a lot. Like
Yeah.
Jaleel White was doing a lot. I don't think he got enough credit for incredible acting on that show because he's not like that. You know, he's definitely not a super brainiac geek nerd dude. Like he's a regular dude.
Yeah.
He should have got more work after that.
Yeah, no, it's hard with these sitcoms. People just get stuck in a role.
Yeah, but I mean, he has several roles. Like he showed his range to be able to go from just going from Steve to Stefan alone was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it showed how much what his acting range was really like, and to be that captivating of a character for so many years, and just like capturing the attention of America and TGIF, which is a very powerful television block.
Right.
You know, you would think that he would get more work.
Yeah. I'm sure he made a lot of money for ABC.
His own show even, or something. Like, I wonder what happened with that. Maybe he wasn't willing to do all the other stuff.
Oh.
You know, maybe he kept his integrity and his, all of his integrities, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Right, because apart from Who Made the Potato Salad, I can't name anything else he's been in.
Who Made the Potato Salad?
With an O-E, the potato. You put your foot in this.
Who Made the Potato Salad was a wild movie. My boy showed me that drink one time. He's like, yo, you seen Who Made the Potato Salad? I was like, absolutely not. And then we watched it, and it was just like, oh, wow. That was a lot.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's true. And are they going to show us the trailer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
why are we even talking about
Black Show? Urkel is one of the biggest examples.
Oh my gosh!
That's the first one. I mean, you can go down the list. Whereas a lot of characters did it. Bang Zoom to the moon, Alice.
So freaking meta.
How you doing? You know, Joey from Friends. How y'all talking about JJ being the stereotype? No, listen, all sitcoms have a tendency when they run too long, they jump the shark.
Sure.
As exemplified by a character that went on too long and jumped the shark. So don't sit up here and try to use that. Well, yeah, man. Well, they were, they were always stereotypes on Good Times back. No, they weren't. No, Good Times was actually pretty progressive. Mm-hmm. They talked about all kind of black issues, especially Michael. Yeah. So I don't want to hear that shit from y'all, man. Don't even.
I remember that.
Don't even, man.
The only unrealistic thing is they didn't get robbed more living in the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't enough crime. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, we can't do that every week.
Yeah. So listen, maybe this will be something that's okay if you take the name Good Times off of it. You know?
No, it won't. No. That's the thing I was looking at. I was like, okay, this doesn't remind me of Good Times at all. But just as a show, I find it's offensive and not funny.
I'm probably maybe I'm going overboard with my feelings right here, but I'm sickened by this. I really am. This is the kind of shit that I talk about all the time. That we are more than this. This is the kind of stuff we should be trying to get away from. And then you got these people coming. You always got somebody coming here thinking that this is all we got to be.
But it's satire. It's commentary.
It's tragedy. I have to watch this now. People want us to review it. We're gonna have to watch it because we talk so much shit. And like I said, I'll be fair. I have no biases when I go into anything because I know I can be wrong. So
I can be wrong. Yeah. I'm not this time, but
I could be wrong. I'm like I said, hey, I'll watch y'all's review.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, y'all. We will see. It's this is gonna be when is it coming out?
April.
You know what? Computer couldn't
April 13th.
April Fools.
The computer even said, I can't take this shit no more. Computer even crashed. I can't do nothing with the computer right now. The computer look like that. I can do nothing with this right now. So I guess this is the point where we're out of here. Look at this, y'all. I'm trying to do anything. That computer said, I can't watch this shit no more. You keep rewinding this. Let's get out of here.
So your computer.
Yes. All right. Maybe I don't need to get this fixed.
It's trying to tell you something.
Right. Yeah, this is a very smart machine right here. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean.
Well, that was our first experience with Double Toasted.
Yeah, actually, I have seen some other content from their channel a while ago. I think they usually do movie reviews.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good episode.
Yeah, I liked it.
Getting a thumbs up from us.
Ding. I want to circle back to their comments, but I want to see the trailer first. There it is. Good times. Netflix. Ooh.
It all started with my grandfather, James Evans.
Norman Lear.
Yes. Yeah, not Lorne Michaels.
Norman Lear.
Yeah.
Is that who?
I think so. Yeah. I'm like, we can blame Lorne Michaels for a lot of things, but I don't know if I don't think he took credit for doing all of this
Norman
stuff.
Lear, that's the person.
Yeah.
Come on, Rosa Parks, can't you just enjoy this?
Who is that? Elon Musk in the background?
JB Smooth. It is JB Smooth.
Yeah.
Jay Farrow. Okay. Slink Johnson. That's the dude that was Black Jesus.
Oh. On a
Adult Swim?
Yeah.
Yeah, that show was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
We're just as good as the Evans of old.
Isn't that just dynamite?
But the truth is, we're the Evans of new.
I've been cringing the whole time.
Yeah, I wish I could see my face.
Yeah. It's just been like in a sneer, like
it's like jaw drop, but not like far, just more like mouth agape.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
Nose and eyes squinched.
Yeah, like lip curled up. Let's check out these comments. Oh. I told you the only way they could do keep that name is it has to be these are their descendants. Otherwise it just doesn't make any sense.
First comment is, this is absolutely disgusting. Netflix should be ashamed and embarrassed for this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason Skywalker.
Thumbs up. Oh, one of the responses to that, Lupe Coded said, yeah, I unsubscribed. Oh. They said, let me show you how much we didn't like this.
Eddie Daughtery said, Steph Curry making it, laughing out loud.
I like the comment underneath this one too. It said El Capitan 2293 blaming Netflix and not any of the brothers and sisters cashing that check. Yeah.
Amir Joseph said, Esther Roll is turning in her grave saying, damn, damn, damn. This is so disrespectful. We as a people
have to put our foot down and boycott this trash. You see the comment underneath it? Right. Waldo Bagel Top, but Boondocks is okay, right? What? I don't get the comparison.
Boondocks is okay. Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Because Boondocks is definitely a smart commentary on this same kind of buffoonery. Somebody responded to him. Swoony Mooney says, Boondocks was actually funny and interesting to watch, at least for the first 3 seasons.
Very. Boondocks is still being referenced to this day.
Nah, Boondocks is hilarious. That episode where Martin Luther King came back to life was legendary.
One of the best, I think, episodes in TV history.
Also, the band episode of them making fun of Tyler Perry was crazy. Yes. And then the R. Kelly episode, there's so many good Boondocks episodes.
Did you do that like Martin Luther King on purpose?
Yep.
So
good. The one, the episode with the itis where
the chicken restaurant,
eating chicken and had beds in it so they could just take a nap right there.
Yes. Amazing. I love this comment from Sayajin3321. I'm white and this has to be racist. They took the Evans, one of the greatest fictional families, and made them into generic Netflix original animated comedy trash. The original actually took stereotypes and explored them within the context of a struggling family trying to make ends meet. Yeah. First is this, which is just like, ooh. There was a comment under, there it is. Ogichi32. Animators, how many negative stereotypes do you want in this show? Producers, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mona Bowl the second says, by reading the comments, most of us or all of us agree that this isn't what we want. Yeah.
Not at all.
Supreme Court 9 says, somebody at that meeting really said, what if like the baby is a drug dealer?
Yeah, it's just goofy. OG James Evans should take a belt to this MFN unacceptable disaster.
Yes, Strike Vader. Yes.
They need a spanking.
Mm-hmm. Christina Narim says, can we start a petition to not have this aired? Seriously. Yeah, I was thinking that, like, they should gauge levels of interest, I think, before doing remakes specifically. Yeah. It's one thing to do new content. It's another thing to exploit the legacy of a piece of work and do it in a poor way. And I think before you're able to like remake something that's very beloved, you should have to check in. Like, it has to be a way to just poll the crowd.
Yeah, are they not doing like surveys or like?
Yeah, what's it, Nielsen?
It's like, who's co-signing this? Pop culture over something says, this show feels like something Riley Freeman would watch.
Yeah. Produced by Uncle Ruckus. It's to wrestling anime.
Yeah.
Josiah Hamster. As a person who grew up watching Good Times reruns on repeat, this bleep ain't Good Times. It's not. Yeah, it's really not. And then they even say like, they were the Evans of old. We are the Evans of new. Well, throw the new ones away.
Yeah, for real.
Everything new ain't good. Definitely not Good Times.
Master Sean 49 says, this ain't Good Times, this is Bad Times.
Yeah, it's bad. Rainbow Man 2184, this is Worst Times. Wait, the response to that, the one's Austral. No, we're in the terrible times.
This thread is great.
Wait, Makai Brown 593, this is catastrophic times.
Who's next?
Rando the Crambo, maybe? I can't even think of something worse for this. It's Velma times.
Yikes.
What's that? Is that the
that's
Scooby-Doo?
The Scooby-Doo remake.
Ooh.
Disney Bros Forever says, this is more like chaos times. Ooh, how many layers down are we gonna go?
Jose I since 2341, unfortunate times.
So fast.
Wooshy whoosh. Bad Times would have been a really good title for this. This should have just been a parody. Yes. It's so disrespectful that it borders on that.
Bad Times would have actually been better.
I think so. Because they're living in despair. Oh, Faruba Girl 08 or bleep times, more like it.
Yikes. Ish times.
Oh, Angelica Angel 8. The damn end times.
Oof.
This palm face emoji. That might be a good comment for us to end on. What you think?
This last one?
Yeah.
It says, Good Times was empowering and uplifting to blacks. The creators of this nightmare want to destroy it. I'm disappointed in Wanda Sykes, Steph Curry, Jay Farrell, and JB Smooth. They will destroy their own people for $1. All money is not worth it. This is awful. This generation needs something positive to look forward to and seeing Good Times funny. I pray to the Almighty Creator that eyes are open soon and souls are cleansed with the truth. 2024 is a year of positivity, love, and truth. Here's a message for Wanda, JB, Steph, Jay, and the rest. quote, and what you do benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own souls. Mark 8:36. NLT, quote, for whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it. Luke 9:24. NIV, quote, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from their faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Timothy.
First Timothy.
1 Timothy 6:10.
The New King James Version.
Why not?
Hallelujah.
Because yikes, that was terrible.
Thank you, Red Robin. Yeah. Ooh, that was hard to watch. Now I can comprehend the reaction of Double Toasted a lot better. They were just like, ugh, ugh. They couldn't even watch the whole thing again. Oh my gosh. You Blue Blight says, damn, I didn't know the Klan had a screenwriting department. They do. True. I think they call it Hollywood.
Right. At Lisa Lee _ says, Wanda Sykes, JB Smooth, Steph Curry, and the rest of y'all played yourselves. Boo! This may be my favorite comment yet, because the boo is so good. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was trash. I'm glad that all of the comments are pointing out how trash it is. I mean, how could anybody think that it's not trash? Like,
yeah, apparently a lot of people worked on this and nobody said, hey, I don't think we should do this.
Who's the audience for this? Because clearly people who consider themselves to be black or anybody adjacent to black, whether they consider themselves to be black or African American or American Indian, like we all know who those people are, no matter what they call themselves. But nobody's gonna like this. Nobody from that demographic. You know, old, young, no, but especially not older people from that demographic. So who is this for? And it's like, is it for people who
children?
But it's like, is it for like racists, like people who enjoy?
I don't think they would enjoy this.
Yeah, because they don't even really like to associate. Like the true racists don't even like to associate themselves with anything that's even like, you know, quote unquote black adjacent. So like people who are actually in the Klan are not going to watch this.
No.
And so, who's it for? Like liberals, like people who like want to support black things just because they're black, right? Like, is it for like the social justice warriors who are like, it's black, so we need to watch it? Is that who made it in the first place? Like, I don't get this at all.
I don't either. It's so, the whole concept feels so dated. Like, it's like
Norman Lear, that's his name.
Yeah, that's what you saw in
No, I think that was Michael Lear.
Yeah, Norman Lear.
He's still alive? Because they said Norman Lear would be rolling in his grave.
Oh.
Yeah, Norman Lear is.
Well, maybe he has like some EP cred still, since he's associated with like, he's credited with the EP in the original show.
Who's the name of the man who actually wrote this? Good Times. That's the name we need to look up.
I don't have my phone.
Let's see. Let's see if we can find that real quick.
Corey B. Buckner says, the trailer disappointed me, but the comment section is making me proud. Way to stand on business, people, against this nonsense. Let's see. Who is the actual creator of Good Times? Oh, yeah.
Right, that would have been a good one too. It said
Eric Monte.
Let me save this with one letter title change and a subtitle.
Hood Times.
Hood Times, a good parody.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Would have been so much better.
Yeah, so the person you were talking about, I think his name is Eric Monte.
Yes.
A screenwriter who has written for and created notable shows depicting 1970s African-American culture, born in Chicago, raised in the Cabrini Green housing project, dropped out of high school and hitchhiked to Hollywood. Even that, like that kind of firmly cements him in the like understanding this culture of like public housing, because Cabrini Green is one of the most notorious housing projects in the country.
For sure.
So it would make sense that somebody like him could write a show about it, and then we could
Norman Lear,
right? Which and then we could see how like somebody who maybe doesn't have enough like education or understanding about how the industry works could have their ideas very easily stolen from them and lose credit.
Everybody gets their ideas stolen from them. It's not just people with low education. It's people who, you know, are firmly planted in the space get their ideas stolen from them. This is what entertainment is about, getting ideas stolen from you.
Mm-hmm.
People steal ideas all the time. They steal the woman who wrote The Matrix had The Matrix stolen from her, and The Terminator. People get beats stolen from them, producers. People get rap lyrics stolen from them, songs. Like the whole entertainment industry is a bunch of vampires and vultures stealing from people. You know, like people grift on other people's songs, like Drake on that one song Going Up on a Tuesday. Like people stay stealing. The people that are quote unquote the best, like Jay-Z and like people considered to be the very best in their arenas, are the best thieves. They stay stealing from people. And it's like, even though this is garbage and like a very like terrible association with the original Good Times, the dude Norman Lear is still getting paid off of what's his name?
Eric Monte.
Eric Monte's intellectual property. Like his name didn't show up anywhere on here, but yet Norman Lear's name is still on this.
And you know, I'm like reading through this Wikipedia article about his life. It's pretty fascinating. So let's see.
What are the shows that he created?
Okay, so
because I know The Jeffersons is a spinoff of Good Times.
So dropped out of high school, enlisted in the army, and then hitchhiked on Route 66, landed in Hollywood. First big break came 5 years later with a script written for and accepted by All in the Family.
Oh, interesting.
Which contributed to the spawning of The Jeffersons. Because I guess it was a spinoff.
The Jeffersons is a spinoff of All in the Family because what's his name? Jefferson was a character on that show.
Oh, okay. I never really seen All in the Family. From there, he produced two 1970s sitcoms, Good Times, which he co-created with the Jefferson star, Mike Evans, and What's Happening.
What's Happening?
That show I really enjoyed.
Hey.
Which was based on his screenplay for the motion picture Coolie High.
Wow. Really?
So he wrote the screenplay for that.
Whoa.
Coolie High also inspired the CBS TV show The White Shadow. I never heard of that.
Me neither.
Okay, so fast forward. In 1977, he filed a lawsuit accusing CBS, Tandem Productions, producers Norman Lear, and Jerry Parenchio, and others of stealing his ideas for Good Times, The Jeffersons, and What's Happening. Eventually, he received a $1 million settlement and a small percentage of residuals from Good Times, but opportunities to pitch new scripts dried up after the lawsuit.
Of course, they blackballed him.
It says, oh, this is interesting. Since Good Times ended, the only scripts he's written that have been produced by Hollywood are single episodes of The Wayans Brothers and Moesha.
Really? Wayans Brothers is hilarious.
It said Moesha Monte called the absolute worst script I've ever written. Interesting.
Wait, what?
He said, because he wrote a single episode of Moesha, which he called the absolute worst script I've ever written. He took part of the settlement money to finance the production of a play he had written titled If They Come Back. The play was a commercial failure and significantly contributed to his financial ruin. Now, this is where things get even darker. After falling on hard times by 2003, his drinking had worsened and he developed an addiction to crack cocaine. He later declared bankruptcy, and by 2006, he was living in a Salvation Army homeless shelter in Bell, California.
Yikes.
He appeared to maintain sobriety there and pursued attempts to sell television and film scripts, as well as a self-published book called Blueprint for Peace. In 2006, he moved back to Chicago, now lives in Portland, Oregon. Okay. Wow. Interesting. So he's actually around to see this. I wonder what he thinks.
Yeah, right? That would be fascinating. Yikes.
Eric Monte, born Kenneth Williams on Christmas Day, 1943.
An American Indian legend. Another unknown American Indian legend who just created so many classics and yet is unknown to the general populace.
Mm-hmm.
And is still having his intellectual property siphoned and exploited in a vampiric nature.
Absolutely. And
by the same
distorted
vampires.
Yeah, right, from the grave.
Wow.
Like, what a slap in the face, right? Because if these were true social justice warriors, they would have made a point to bring him in on this project. Because like you were saying, like you brought up that this show was actually created by somebody who didn't get credit for it. I didn't know the man's name, but I have heard that before. So it's not like totally occulted knowledge, right? Because when I searched the creator of Good Times, it came right up. Mm-hmm. They know who it is.
Right.
And it's like, if they were really like people, you know, who claim to be like allies and woke and all that kind of stuff, if they were really about restorative justice and equity and true diversity and all that kind of stuff, they would have included that man in this. Yeah. And maybe they did go to him with this and he was like, this is garbage.
Right, maybe. I mean, and at the end of the day too, it's like he won that settlement. He won some money and some residuals, but he didn't get the intellectual property, and that's why Norman Lear's name is still on this.
Right, exactly.
It's like, what? This is trash. This is even worse. This is even more trash than just, you know, the script that we saw, the trailer that we saw, and the visuals that we saw. Like, this is trash on so many deeper levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that they're still using my guy's intellectual property and like have made a mockery of it,
yeah,
is even worse. And this is probably the last comment to end it off on. Medi and I says, this isn't good times, this is hard times.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They're not even hiding the mockery anymore.
Garbage.
Let's give this a humongous thumbs down.
Absolutely.
You know what? I'm going into all my YouTube accounts so I can give it a thumbs down. Because we didn't like it. Guess what?
Guess what?
We don't care.
We don't care. We're not watching it. It's trash. Oh, interesting.
Oh, amazing.
We might have to go into this right now.
Yep.
For Comedy Hype News, I'm John Allen. Last week, fans of the classic Good Times will get their first look at the animated series version of the iconic show, which debuted back in 1974. The series taken from the life of writer and creator Eric Monte, who grew up in the Cabrini Green projects, would spotlight the Evans family who lived in the Chicago projects, and would highlight the many obstacles they faced as a family. Now Netflix, along with Seth McFarlane, the late Norman Lear, and NBA player Steph Curry, is set to premiere the animated series in April. Along with the announcement and first looks, the cast of the new series would also be revealed. J.B. Smoove, Yvette Nicole Brown,
Oh, that's the
Jay
girl
Farrell,
from
Marcy
Blackish.
Martin, Godfrey Slink Johnson, Rashida Oliwala, Tisha Campbell Martin, and social media star Pretty V are all reported to have lended their voices for the animation.
Wow.
Voiceover
Cree
veteran Cree
Summers?
Summers is also
Oh,
attached to the
no.
project as a voice director. Now, upon research, it doesn't appear that many
Tisk,
online
tisk.
fans were happy with some of the first look images coming from the animated project. One user on X would write, "I've got conflicting feelings about this animated reboot of the classic Good Times. Would Leave It to Beaver, the Waltons, or the Brady Bunch ever get animated like this? They should have just made a completely new series because
Exactly.
I would have never thought this was Good Times.
Right.
This looks gross. And man, this remake is not looking good at all, in disrespect to the OG show.
For
For
sure.
some, the first look images would be an issue compared to the show's original format, as it appears that the show's integrity and intention from creators Eric Monte and Mike Evans may get lost pushing narratives that reinforces negative stereotypes about Black people. Now, in an exclusive statement given to Comedy Hype, the Monte and Evans families have announced that they aren't affiliated with the new series and are not approving of or blessing the new project. The families of Eric Monte and Mike Evans do not support nor have granted permission for the animated reboot of Good Times. From the looks of it, it appears that Norman Lear, before his passing, will move forward on the concept without Monte's and Evans' consent.
What
And
a
despite the
coinky dink.
ongoing reports that the original Good Times was stolen by him from Eric Monte and co-creator Mike Evans.
Clearly.
Those in the YouTube verse have learned in recent times that Lear looks to have taken the majority of the credit and financial reward of a series he did not create.
Obviously.
One of the main concerns from the families is that Eric Monte and Mike Evans' work stood for Black empowerment and positive Black imagery, and that this new project looks to not depict positive Black imagery,
at all,
as the men weren't there to make money but to make history. They also took strong issue with some of the early press coverage that would mention Eric Monte and Mike Evans in a way that could mislead audiences that they were affiliated with the animated version. Carlina Evans, daughter of co-creator Mike Evans, has also spoken out about the matter, as she would reveal in a recent interview, expressing that it was expected for the animated series to have gone through the proper protocol because Eric Monte and Mike Evans own the intellectual property of the show,
they do.
while Sony only owns the show.
Huh.
Going to keep everything on the surface. Those rights are very much there, very much real. Any reboot or recreation of Good Times, we need to agree. We need to be paid. We need to license it off. And that is with any recreation.
So how does that work?
Report, it's unclear what Netflix or Sony has to say about the current backlash. Former Boondocks producer Carl Jones and Renata Shepard are reported to have co-created the animated series. Neither has yet been confirmed.
Boondocks producer?
And as far as Eric Monte, he will recently turn 80 years old and is expected to release new projects under his Eric Monte Productions company, E&P, as he enjoys his family in Atlanta. Monte just received a proclamation for his own day on March the 17th in Stonecrest, Georgia, given to him by Stonecrest Film Committee. He was also honored for Black History Month at the NBA G League's Wisconsin Herd for his contribution to sitcom history and Black culture.
I hope he's
And
been
he is still
honored in
advocating for positive
Chicago
Black imagery.
too.
Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Are you going to be watching the new Good Times?
No.
And if anything, what should happen next? For more news,
I
and
could
comedy,
barely
be
get
sure
through
to
that
subscribe to our
trailer.
channel and follow Comedy Hype across all social media.
Thank you, Comedy Hype.
Yeah.
That was much needed.
Whew, that was a refreshing update. Let's check out these comments.
Because, yo, what are they thinking? We need to... How are they even using the name and the likenesses without the cosign of the people who own the intellectual property?
I have no idea. Like, do they just have veto power as a production company?
Yeah, like how do they can't because they don't own intellectual property. Nettie J says this looks like Bebe's Kids reboot. Definitely not Good Times.
Yeah,
that's really what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy Hill. That's what I was thinking. I cringed so hard. It says the father on Good Times wouldn't have ever told his kids he shouldn't have worn a condom.
Or he should have, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that really stunned me as he was cursing. Like, what? But they did say they the new Evans. They not the old ones. I guess that's how they got around the respectability politics.
Somebody says, stop mocking our experiences. We have Tyler Perry for that.
Thank you, D.L. Barnes.
Yikes, 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 yikes,
yikes.
Wow, I didn't expect to make this a 3-video episode.
We went deep into the metaverse on this one.
Dang, how many levels meta is that?
So we were 4 in on the first one. Yeah.
Watch Double Toast.
Right. Watch the trailer. And then they didn't show the trailer. So then you watched us watch the trailer. Yes.
And then the trailer led us to Comedy Hype.
Well, before that, it led us to looking into Eric Monte.
Right. So you watched us read the wiki page on Eric Monte. And then Eric Monte's name led us to watch Comedy Hype.
So you watched us watch Comedy Hype, respond to the trailer, and give us insight into Eric Monte and Mike Evans and what they got going on today. So we went like 13.
This is the most meta episode yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a lot.
I hope y'all enjoyed it because that was a deep dive.
It's like, we hope you enjoyed it as much as you can enjoy just watching the degradation of like really respectable
or classic,
yeah, just facets of the culture.
Yeah, a real cultural classic, and just completely
just like do another it's like not another lazy reboot. You know, we need to have like a new parody movie about that. How there's so much talent and so much creativity just like out there in the world, and we're seeing it every day on the internet. And yet these big production companies are just allowed to do lazy reboot after lazy reboot.
And the thing is too, it's like the big production company have a certain level of fault, but there's a lot of people in the community who signed up for this to get a check from it.
Right.
And so they got to be held accountable too. Like all of the voice actors, the prior producers of Boondocks, Steph Curry for some reason. Like, all of these people should have some shame on them, because nobody should have co-signed them degrading Good Times like this. Like the degradation of Good Times has been assisted by all of these people that are part of the culture. So shame on them.
The new culture vultures.
They shouldn't have even been able to get anybody that would have signed on to this, just out of respect for the legacy of Good Times.
And you know what? I could see them getting younger people who are like totally removed from, you know, just the legacy of Good Times. Like if everybody working on this project was born in the 2000s, got it, makes sense. But
/ not a like well-known celebrity, because you know the new people who are unknown are trying to make a name for themselves, and also need a check because they're broke.
Exactly, which may be the case for.
But like Wanda Sykes, JB Smoove, like come on, like JB Smoove is older than us, and Wanda Sykes too. Like I know they watched Good Times.
And Cree Summers,
I know they watched Good Times. Right?
Yeah.
It's like
very disappointing.
What a shame. Shame. Yeah,
we need to just stone. Dang, if we wouldn't mess up our own wall, we could just like stone this depiction.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt anybody but us. We've been hurt enough just watching this.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Ooh, well, thank y'all for joining us on this
most meta.
Most mega meta we ever gone. Yeah, check out Double Toasted, check out Comedy Hype. you should definitely go check out the trailer just for the sake of giving it a big old thumbs down.
Let Netflix know that you don't like this either. Give them a thumbs down.
Yeah. And give us a thumbs up and keep coming back so we can get more meta, more better. It's a meta watch party.